What's good in the hood? We're back to another episode of Procrastination Podcast. I'm Matt.
I'm Robert.
I'm Alonzo.
And yes, we're back again like we never left. It's been quite a week, kind of last couple of weeks for us, but we are back here. Just talk a little bit about our last con experience. We saw a couple of you guys out there. Hopefully you're watching at Otakon. And it was my first Otakon, and it was a unique experience. Definitely different than all the other cons I've been to. So we'll kind of talk about that today. We're missing one key member. Glaring omission.
I mean, America, listen. It was between going to one of the most crowded anime conventions in the country in the heart of DC or staying home and not doing a goddamn thing. I think I made the right decision. And I stand by that.
You know, at the very least, he stands by it. Like, I felt worse if he felt regret. I would have felt more upset. At least he doesn't regret it. So, you know, but, you know, we'll talk about the experience. I guess we'll just, you know, kind of get into it. But before all that, how's everybody doing? Doing okay?
Doing good. I said, my brother is in town from Alaska with his two daughters. And you know what's weird? Well, I guess it's not weird, but my niece is 14 years old, right? And she's talking, and my brother made this point at some point. He was like, you know, she's saying all these things, and I don't care about any of them. You know, she keeps talking about these, like, this friend that's not her friend, or this boy that's not her, you know, and then I come to see her, and immediately she goes into the same mode. Like, she's like, okay, let me tell you about this friend in school, and she's not really my friend anymore though, because she started hanging out with this other girl and this other thing, and I was like, I'm trying so hard to be like, you know, I've been online, you know, I'm in my chit chat phase. I'm like, okay, let me ask the right question. Let me do the thing. And I am not following her at all. Cause she's like at 6 levels deep of like, like, is this friend's friend of this friend's friend? All right. I don't like that guy. like, okay, Lily. I'm with you. I also don't like him. Fuck him. Actually. You know?
That kid.
Anyways, I'm trying to be a good uncle. That's been my life.
Yeah. All you can do. How about you, Alonzo?
I feel that. Being an uncle, I'm a terrible uncle. I haven't seen my nieces and nephews in a long time. I think my oldest nephew, starting high school soon. Well, God bless him. Anyway, my stuff has been good, I guess. My work done told me I gotta travel next week on Sunday, the Lord's Day, starting to go to Illinois, the worst state in America. They gave us the Bulls, Michael Jordan, Barack Obama. I don't know. Anyway, I gotta travel next week. I'm not looking forward to it. I got another personal travel next Friday. I'm looking forward to that, but still, flying on planes not for me. I'm a 6'7" giant. I am a big man. I'm a big man, SpongeBob. A big man. Anyway, just flying around the country. I'm not looking forward to it, but hey, better than most. I'm getting paid for it, so what can you say?
Yeah. True. Yeah, I've been neglecting my uncle duties too. I haven't seen my niece and nephew since, what was this? My graduation, I guess. So it's been a little while. But even before that, it had been a minute. And I'd be trying. My sister is difficult. And that's the main issue. I love my niece and nephew. My sister, I love her too. But she is difficult. And I'd be trying, man. But anyway, so. But yeah, I'm interviewing for jobs and ish, and she's out here lowballing you. I don't know. I'm like, how people lowballing when everything else high? Everything else is high, and you lowballing me. Like, do you want me to be homeless? I'm gonna live in the lobby. I'm gonna live in the lobby if you keep playing with me. I ain't paying no rent neither. I'm gonna sleep right in one of them chairs in the lobby, and then I'm gonna catch y'all and be there first, bright and early in the morning. How you get here so quick? I never left.
You gonna pay me what you owe me. I'll be here every day till you pay me what you owe me.
all that salary is straight pocketed, man. I ain't paying no money, no groceries. Oh, we got lunch today? I got lunch and dinner. Cool. All the leftovers is mine. All the leftovers is mine, dude. Don't let somebody bring in lunch, man. The lunch box is gonna be missing on the days they don't bring in lunch. I'm like, dang, that's crazy. I don't know who we keep stealing these lunch boxes. Man, that's is like, don't play with my money. It's too high. Everything out here too high to be playing with. Rent in places that should be paying you to live is like $1,600-1,700. I'm like, no. So imagine anywhere you actually want to live, and it's ridiculous, you know. So anyway.
Illegal life pro tip. Go to Texas and be a doctor. No income tax. And then go be a doctor for the stars, you know. Elon Musk, I don't know who else is out there, but hey, be the doctor to the stars and do the illegal stuff, give them medication under the table, get extra money that way. You know, just illegal life pro tips from Procrastination.
You know,
but then you gotta be in hot ass Texas.
Hey man, it ain't gonna be so hot when you're on your 16-acre farmhouse with a big ass mansion, AC, cooling floors.
No, you're gonna pay somebody to fan you. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Where's the grape one? Where's the grape one? The grape one. Get the grape one. Bring them.
Grape now. Yes.
But
we do not condone illegal activities, by the way. So
we don't do anything under the table.
Yes. Cartel doctor. That's what we need in Texas.
You know, El Paso, right on the border with Suarez. You know,
hey man,
I ain't saying nothing, but just don't get shot. But you'll be living good.
Don't get shot. What's that show? The cleaning lady or something? She's like cleans up after all the people that be murdering, you know, after the cartel. It's like, but then she has to also fear for her life because now she knows everything. Like, no. Don't live, you know, people, maybe there's thrill seekers out here that want that kind of life where they work a job where they have to continuously look over their shoulder for the rest of their existence. I'm good on that. Thanks. Good on that. I like to be able to go to the store and just buy my my chicken and my salads and go about my business. I don't want to be worried about, oh, I buy the chicken, somebody gonna pop out of the produce and be like, hey, run me run me that. Like, I heard you knew about El Nino back in the day. Like, oh no, don't need any problems. But anyway. Speaking of problems, this con was problematic, man.
Yeah.
First off, the start. So to start, we got invited to this con, and I hope he watches this. I hope this friend watches by a certain friend. You know what? I would say I technically I wasn't invited. Technically, I wasn't invited. Robert was invited, and I was invited by proxy because Robert didn't know what's going. And I was like, you know what? All right.
I agree.
And Alonso said very early on, credit to him, that he did not want to go to this con. He never once led us to believe he was going. There was not one moment. He was consistent. I was the one thing about it, he's consistent. So I respect it. Because it was $100, and that issue was ridiculous. So, okay, that's the start, right? So we're thinking, oh, okay, we're gonna go, you know, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you know, very least Saturday, Sunday, we're gonna have a full group of like 4 or 5 people, whatever. But, all right, cool. So
this is what Darius says. He says like, oh, make sure you get Saturday and Sunday. That's when all the prime stuff is happening. At the con, get Saturday, Sunday. He tells everybody this in the group chat. He's like, Saturday, Sunday, this is what we doing. I'm like, I bet. Everybody got it figured out. This is a month before, right? A few weeks before. Everybody said they got their tickets Saturday, Sunday. I'm like, I bet. I got my tickets as soon as they said it. Saturday, Sunday, got it. Right. Or full weekend, right? All right, continue.
I'm also not. Again, I wasn't technically invited, so I was in the group chat, not in the group chat. They didn't want my hand.
Y'all show me your tickets, nigga. Show me your tickets,
because you know how I am. I need visual evidence. So they knew better to put me in the group chat anyway. But yeah, so comes like the day before, so like Thursday, and I'm texting Robert. I'm like, all right, dude, what's the plan for Friday? Because I know he had trouble getting off for work or whatever. So I was like, and I was like, I was trying to figure something out. I think still Friday, that was going to stop me from leaving as early as I wanted to leave Friday. So I was like, okay, so I'm trying to figure out when I'm going to leave and stuff. So I'm like, okay, trying to get this together. He's like, yeah, can't get off till late or whatever, and he had some stuff he had to do after. So, all right, bet. I get it. So fine. But I already knew Robert Saturday, Sunday for sure. We had booked a hotel. We good. I think a little later that day, Robert texts me. Is like, or no, I called Robert. I called Robert to clarify all this stuff. I think around lunchtime. This man, Darius, apparently never told the other person that was going with us to get their ticket and the date of the thing.
Yeah.
So Robert, go ahead, Robert.
Yeah. So I'm on the phone with I messaged because Matt calls. I messaged Darius and tell him like, all right, y'all set up for tomorrow, right? This is Friday. So I'm like, y'all set up for tomorrow. We gonna meet. Where we gonna meet? And Kelsey goes, tomorrow. Tomorrow what? What do you, yeah, it's like, yeah, no, I'm gonna do the convention. Yeah, that's in September, right? No, nigga, no. What are you talking about? This is tomorrow. She's like, oh, okay. I did not get it. And then everyone else in the group chat says the same thing. Like there's a not tell Kelsey or Jude, the other two people we're going with, that when it was.
the bottom most basic thing to tell someone about any event. Right. When.
So they both are like, well, we're not going to get the full weekend. I mean, because we don't have a hotel and we're not staying there, right, or whatever. They're an hour or plus out, right? So they're like, we're not staying the whole weekend. We'll do Saturday. That's what they say. So they buy the Saturday tickets only,
which was still like what, $70?
Yeah, or something? $70. But at the last minute, it was $70. Yes,
instead of $95, I think for the whole weekend.
Yeah, it was $85 when we first said it. It was $85.
85.
Yeah. So I'm like, yeah. They basically played. Yeah. Anyways, waste. What a waste.
Right. So I'm mad. I'm mad immediately. Like
instantly livid.
We haven't even left for the trip yet, and I'm already mad. I'm like, yo, this man didn't tell them about this trip. Now we were supposed to do Saturday and Sunday. I'm like planning. I've already packed everything. I've packed everything. My car's basically packed. I'm literally just texting Rob so I can make sure I know what I'm doing, what's happening. And I've packed like games and stuff. Like so we're playing Uno or like or like what do you mean and stuff like that. So like, okay, we got a big group. We can play all these games, right? We got games for the night when people are trying to chill. No games are played, man. No games are played.
Yeah, I mean, there were games played, but.
Yeah. But not ones you want to play.
Right. They were playing games.
Running game on us, man. Like, what the freak, man? So the whole time, like I said, started off. That's already the start. We haven't even left yet. So now we get on the road. I'm like, okay, I think normally I checked the night before the trip was supposed to take like 3.5 hours drive. I'm like, you know what? Whatever. I do 3.5 hour drive anyway, because that's the distance to my house, to my parents' house. So I'm like, 3.5 ain't ish. I get on the road, dude. The time just keeps going up. It just keeps going up.
Yeah, that's that.
There's a 5-minute delay. Oh, there's a 12-minute delay. There's a 10-minute delay up here.
At one point, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna leave. I'm just go back. I would just go back. I'm like, this is ridiculous. It added an hour to the trip. I'm like, I can go back home in an hour at this point. I'm like, I may as well go back home and chill for an hour and just come tomorrow morning. The only reason I was like, you know what? We got this daggone hotel for Friday night. No one's going to be there. I think Robert was going to get there to like 11, or something.
That's when I got there.
and I'm like, and I've looked up events already too. I've looked up events. I'm like, oh, we're gonna be there Friday. I'm thinking, mind you, I'm like, this man Darius is an hour and a half. Like, why would before all this, when I bought the ticket, I'm like, why wouldn't he come Friday? He's right there.
Right.
He ain't that far. I would come Friday if I was right there. Apparently Darius didn't think that way, so it's apparently did not come Friday. But again, look at the schedule. I'm like, oh, what the freak? Again, I should look at I should have looked at the schedule earlier. Friday's schedule was heat. There was way more good stuff on there, and it probably would have been less crowded. Hindsight, I would have tried to just leave way earlier Friday and try and make the Friday stuff, because it would have been probably a better experience. But hindsight's 2020. So yeah, Friday we're trying to figure out all this stuff, get to the hotel, all this thing. So I finally get to the hotel, like I said, like an hour plus after I was supposed to get there. It's like 7, 8-ish, something like 7. I think like 7-ish, 7 something or whatever. And I'm like, all right, whatever. So I get there, check in. First thing I do, I hear when I check into our actual room, I get to the room. I just hear, yay, yes, yes. I'm like, what? What is that? It is the neighbor is like going ham, and I just got there. I'm like, I did not drive almost 5 hours on a 3-hour trip, and come to paper thin walls and loud neighbors. I didn't do that right now, right? So anyway, I'm like, you know what? Whatever. I'm gonna just go get something to eat and go to the con and try and get my badge early. So get something to eat. And I try and go to the con. I change, try and go to the con. Like 2 or 3 Ubers cancel on me. I'm like, what the freak is happening on this Friday night? Is it the 13th? Like, what is this?
Cursed.
And I'm like, okay, whatever. So but I finally get one. I get there, and I'm like, again, I didn't know my first one. I didn't know the magnitude of Otakon. It's like 3 buildings. Mm. No one told me it was 3 buildings. Mm-hmm. So why did you tell me last year, Alonzo, that it was 3 buildings? That when last time was it 3 buildings when you went?
And huge,
enormous buildings.
Yeah.
One of the buildings is bigger than every con I've been to.
Yeah.
But they have 3 of these.
Their artist alley is as big as every con we've been to.
Literally. So I don't know. Was it that big when you went, Alonzo?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
I remember a lot of walking.
Yeah,
and a lot of people, and a lot of buildings and long lines. So that's why I didn't want to go. I didn't want to listen to me. I'm right. Yeah.
You're right. You are right. You are right. Because all those things were true. And I just didn't. I hadn't been. That was the main thing. I was like, you know what? It's supposed to be a big group, and I haven't been. I'll just go at least this one time, and it's a big group at least. So I'll someone to help me navigate. Obviously, had to navigate myself Friday night because I was on my own, and it was hard to figure out even where registration was. So I finally get the registration. I think it's like close to 10 when I finally get there. Like I said, it took me a while just to get the Uber. So when I got there, packed everything, it got changed, went back out, and then got there, and then actually did try to find it. It was like almost 10. And then I get there, I go to the store, and the lady's like, oh, so somebody's leaving. It's like, oh, you better hurry up. I'm like, okay. So I do a little jog run or whatever. And I go over there, and the lady's like, no. We're closed. I'm like, no, you're not. No, you're not.
You're not going to curse this day. No.
I'm like, you can't be. I was like, ma'am, I just drove 5 hours, took an Uber after multiple cancellations, and got my whole ish changed just in the last 24 hours. All plans uprooted in the last 24 hours. I need this pass. I need this pass tonight. I'm not waiting that line tomorrow. There's obviously no line because 10 o'clock at night. There's no line at all. And she's like, you know what? She says, wait a second. She finished the people ahead of me. Well, I guess we're supposed to be the last people. And she's giving the spiel about, you late and stuff. And I was like, you know what? Give me the spiel. So I get up there and I'm like, I go through my sob story again. I start and she's like, no, it's fine. You know what? Come on. Like, let's go. I was literally the last person they accepted. They turned everyone else away. Literally the last person they accepted that night for a badging. So I was going to try and get Robert's badge. Yeah. But I was like, yeah, I'm pushing it because she didn't want to be mine.
In hindsight, this is the best decision Matt has ever had. To go get this Friday night was the best decision he was ever with this convention, like, because the next morning we get up later than we should, but we get up, whatever. And I don't know, we wanted to sleep in because like I got there like 11:30, something like that. And then, so we didn't go to sleep until like a little late. So we wanted to at least get 8 hours, whatever, be ready in the morning. And there weren't nothing we really were planning for on Saturday, except for meeting up with Darius and them. So then, whatever, we get our shit. we go downstairs. We call the Uber, whatever. And by the time we get there, that's when I realized that the line is like wrapped around, wrapped. But then, like, it has so many levels of line because, like, the line in front of the door that makes you think that you're going into the front door. But that line just leads you to a line on the side of the building that then wraps around and goes into another building. It's not even that front door at all. So there's, like, so much line that I'm like, Matt is standing with there for, like, I don't know, you were there for, like, 30 minutes, something like that? And then you were just like, you were like, all
right. No. What happened was we had done a Yu Yu Hakusho cosplay. So I was wearing this bright yellow tank thing. And Yellow Jackets love that ish, apparently. Because Yellow Jackets kept assaulting me every freaking like 15 minutes. I knew and be like, hey, this jigga looking shiny. I'm like, ah. And no one else is getting touched, right? It's just me. So it had to just be the yellow, right? I'm guessing. I look floral to them. Yeah. So I'm just getting assaulted every few. I'm like, and I literally told Rob, I was like, all right, one more assault and I'm leaving. And then one more assault happened, and Robert's like, yeah, you should probably just go.
Get inside, man.
Yeah. Like, I couldn't do it. I rejoined him when he got inside. I rejoined him. But that issue was, again, not fun.
That line, 2 hours. 2 hours it took to get through that line. I'm like, isn't that insane?
Crazy.
And Kelsey and Darius, they said that theirs took an hour and 30. Yeah, so it was like basically they were around the same time. They were just a little bit earlier.
Right.
I remember them lines, yeah.
I mean, yeah, it wasn't pleasant, but like even again going in Friday night. I mean, it was cool going in Friday night, just kind of seeing it was again because it was so big. There was a lot of people still there late, so it's like it was kind of cool interacting with a few different people, met a few new people. So that was cool, and then like saw some like one really nice place to, like take pics and stuff like that and do some. Well, I think we had initially thought we might do some interviews there. We didn't end up doing that, but yeah. Either way, it's saw some good places to do stuff. So I was like, that was cool to kind of scout it out a little bit and then try and find my way around a little bit, which I still got lost a lot, but it helped a little bit. So that was something for Friday night, and obviously like getting the thing. So if like had I had to sit in that line and get assaulted by Yellow Jackets and Waspanish for 2 hours, I'd have been fed up. I'd have been done. Because I got getting stung before a con, I'm sure, is probably the last way anyone wants to start a con. Yeah, I got stung a lot before I got in here. That's what I want. And I'm not positive if I'm not allergic to those things. My dad is allergic, so I'm not positive if I'm not allergic. So I don't really want to find out, especially not then. So anyway, but yeah,
is anyone a doctor?
Anyone have an EpiPen? Just stab me with that. Anyway, but yeah. So anyway, Saturday. Quick shout out. We met two of our two friends that we had met at a previous con. It was before Robert got in, so I was talking to them for a little bit. So that was cool seeing them again and talking to them for a while. So that was one of the cool things is seeing some people we'd seen at other cons and having some, catching up. Basically, it was cool.
It was a free run cosplay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So that was cool. But yeah, I think Robert finally got in. I don't remember what did we do when you finally got in?
Well, the first thing I think we were trying to find Darius and Kelsey, and obviously he was like, "We're in Artist Alley. We're in Artist Alley," and then we go down to Artist Alley, and he's like, "Well, we left. We left to go get something to eat, so we're now this other place, right?" I'm like, okay. And it took us so long to get down there. It's so long to get to the area where the back was, where we thought they were. And they were like, nah, we got food, but we left after we got the food. And we went, yeah. So, anyways, that was the main thing. And then I think that was basically all we did that day. Like, we got something to eat and stuff. We went to the food trucks. We got some, what was it? Like Colombian? What was it?
No, well, the lady was from El Salvador,
right?
But she was serving like rice, chicken, rice and lamb plates, which I would assume is more Mediterranean. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I've always liked Mediterranean guys, like halal food trucks usually serve that stuff. But yeah, it should have been the first red flag. But we were very hungry, and we were trying to support the food trucks, and. Shouldn't have supported the food truck. That ish was not hitting. And she lied. I asked her, I was like, hey, since you're from El Salvador, is there any place to get good, El Salvadorian food? Or like, I know they all big, they want to go big these pupusas or whatever. Like, do you always get good food? She's like, nah, no, not really. Nothing around here. I was like, there's no good in DC, there's none. She's like, no. I'm like, okay. That night, I with a 10-minute search, I found an El Salvadorian restaurant, 9-minute walk down the street. 9-minute walk. Like either she was gatekeeping or she just really wanted us to buy that bullcrap food. Like
it was really good.
It was really good. It was really good. I'm like, there's no way. There's also a bunch of people clearly from Latin America in there. So I'm like, there's no way this is just like a local, like Americanized version. This is actual good, Latin American, Central American food. And you just try to play me. Yeah. So maybe she didn't know about the place. But I was like, I told Robert, I was like, watch her walk in.
Yeah. Like, that would have been funny.
Like, oh, I thought you said, She'll be like, oh, no English. No.
So one thing that we noticed, noticed when we were checking into the hotel, but also noticed like walking around, there must have been like a pride event happening or something. Because like when we were in the hotel, we noticed like there was a homosexual couple that walked in or whatever. And we're like, oh, okay. And I was like, maybe that's just, but then another couple walked in and we're like, wait a minute. Okay, what's happening? And then just back to back to back was like these gay couples. And I was like, are we staying at a gay hotel? Like, is this is this hotel or this event? We're just like, okay. Anyways. So yeah, and then we're walking around, we saw it similarly for the event. We're like, yeah. So the whole time we were saying that like, okay, if we leave this hotel, are they gonna think that we're a homosexual couple? Because also like we're dressed up, like we're actively.
This man has a wig on.
Yeah,
this man has a wig on.
I went Yoko Kurama. So I had the wig on. I had I had the tail,
Yeah. Oh, these guys are using some kinky-ish.
Furry, Like, all right, we have to beat these allegations. That was the plan going in the convention. To beat the allegations, right? And then when we meet these two in the front, we were thinking like, okay, all right, we obviously we're in our element here. All right, 2 guys, 2 girls. This is fine. They'll see. And then there was also that other Yusuke that came out, the black I don't remember her name. But yeah. Anyways, so that was good. At least good. First 10 minutes of the con, seeing them and having some like camaraderie or whatever. No, that was actually when we went to get food. So that was
that was when we get to get food.
Yeah, probably
we were outside. Yeah.
After the 2 hours. And then we got the food, and we couldn't bring the food inside, or at least thought we couldn't bring the food inside. Right. So then we went to the side door, and apparently there was this lady, and she was like, "Well, this side door is for vendors." And we're like, well,
we're in the door.
Well, we in here. And she was like, just get in here. Just get in. I'm like, yes, let's go.
And she'll hear like this, like, nobody cares about this door. Like, does this plate look like we're in any form going to cause any trouble? We're going to eat this food and go about our business, right?
Exactly.
It's like 3:00 is our first meal. Like, dude, we are hungry. Believe me, we are not causing any trouble.
So after that, after we ate the food, we did. I think that's when yoga. I think we did yoga after that.
Yes, that was that, and that was again one of maybe not the best way to beat the allegations. Again, hindsight's 20/20, but it was one of the highlights. Of the con. It was very interesting and very fun, and we we ended up partnered up, and did some team
team yoga. What do you mean?
Team yoga.
Weird about that. There's something weird about that. You put your feet on my feet. We just we get in this slingshot position or whatever the fuck it was.
You do a double plank. Double plank.
Yeah, you do
a good little double plank. So.
You remember in the yoga thing, right? So the guy, he shows us the double plank thing. He's like, "Look, I'm gonna put your legs on the shoulders," and then they were sitting, back to back. And then at the end of that round, he's like, "All right, I want somebody to do a quadruple plank or whatever." So he puts this down. These two guys who've been doing it this whole time. They seem like they're fine. And then other girl walks up. This one girl walks up, and she's like, "Okay, I'm willing to." Get on top, right? And he's like, no. Actually, this will be better this way. And he moves one guy and puts her in the middle of the stack. Well, she is struggling. Right. She is bending, dude. Like, back is breaking. I'm like, okay. All right, let's hurry this up. And then he puts like a little kid on top of them, and they're like, "That's a quadruple stack, or whatever." Yeah. But anyways, I was like, "Oh my gosh!" But it was fun. It was fun. They did like some freeze tag yoga thing. I thought that was nice. Yeah. That was good.
My freaking quads the next day were flaming, dude. I did not. I was like, "What did I do?" I was like, "Oh yeah."
Especially all the walking and then yoga on top of that. Yeah,
right. It was crazy, but it was again highlight of one of the highlights of the con. Yeah. Like was it the only event we got to go to? I think
probably.
I think so. I think we sat at. Did we sit at closing? No, I don't think we went to closing at all. I don't. Yeah, I think that might be the only event we really went to that was like an active. We tried to like make a couple other events. But it just didn't. I mean, we tried, but it's like you get there, and it's like if you're not like 30 minutes
I was just about to talk about that.
ahead, good luck. Mm-hmm. They're like, "Oh, you can wait in the overflow." Overflow? Yeah. What is this, dude?
They got rooms on side of rooms dedicated for people that may be able to get in. And like at one point, the guy was like, "No one's moving in the overflow room, so I recommend that you leave." Like straight up was like, "You is not getting in." Right. I'm like, that's awful.
Instead of just making the overflow room another room for that same event.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy idea.
Exactly. Yeah. There was like a delicious in dungeon taste test or something like that. That's what we wanted to go to, and
to go to that too. Yeah.
They that was overflowed.
We got there at least a few minutes before though, and it still didn't matter. We're like It was like 5 or 10 minutes, and it still didn't matter. Like we weren't late. The other thing, we got there right on time. It was also the same thing, and that again, I'm like, who wants that to plan every second of your con, like to be able to make it the things you want to do? Like it's just, yeah. Like again, there were some positives. I think it was still, like I said, the yoga thing was fun, and certain events that were less crowded, I think were nice. And again, still met some cool people, and the interviews and stuff went well, and yeah, I mean, again, like the photo shoot, the Yu Hakusho photo shoot impromptu like meetup basically was pretty exciting, to be honest. We only missed our cool bar. That's all we missed. All we needed.
You want to talk about that a little bit more?
Yeah. So
like getting down there and stuff.
Yeah. So Saturday night, we're like wrapping up. We're actually about to leave. We're wrapping up, and I'm like, you know what? It's like, because we're about to go get some food, and we're like, well, we'll figure out if we want to come back after that. Because obviously, it's like, I think it's like 8-ish, 8:30-ish, or whatever, and like, we can. Stuff is still going on until like 2 a.m. or whatever. So if we really want to do stuff, we can't try to do more stuff.
Somebody invited us to a 90s theme party thing or whatever.
Yeah.
So we're like, all right, we'll come back after we get some pupusas.
Yes. We'd already planned to actually get El Salvadorian food, which apparently didn't exist. But it did exist. Anyway, so we went but I was like, let me go show you this place. I told them about the place that I saw Friday. That I was like, this is a really nice place for like interviews and pics and stuff. And I was like, all right, I want to show you that. So I went up there, we found it again, and I showed him the place, and he was like, oh, this is nice or whatever. And there's like a bunch of people there talking, and like it's like a bar a little bit inwards, so like people were there like kind of chatting and stuff. So I was like, it was cool. So he was like, all right, let's get these pictures so we can like, if we go, we can take off some of the cosplay and stuff like that and chill a little more. So I was like, all right, let's get these pictures. So we get the pictures, we start taking pictures, right? And while we're taking pictures, some guy decides like sets up like they set up like basically where my camera is set up. And again, it's free space, so whatever. But they set up like basically right where my camera is set up, and there's a lot of free space other than this, which I'm like, and they're just flexing, like just doing all these flexes, right? And I'm just like, and it's like there's random people just taking pictures, and then some other random guy who takes his shirt off.
I think it's one of those basic JJK guys, right?
Yeah, like Inosuke.
Oh, yeah.
And then some other dude, I don't even know what he was doing, but he was there too. He just decided to join. I'm just like, okay. It's like this random entourage of people, and they're just like, taking pictures of them. And I'm just like, okay. But anyway, so we still able to wrap up our pictures for the most part, and then we're about to leave. And a guy I ran into earlier that day, I don't think Robert was around, but I think a guy I ran into earlier that day, named Ryan. Shout out to you, Ryan, if you watch. He was back into us. He's like, "Oh, y'all doing pictures and stuff." He's like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh man, I feel bad because I went as Hiei yesterday." He's like, "I went as Hiei yesterday from Yu Hakusho," and he's like, "But yeah," and it seems like I've seen more Yu Hakusho cosplayers today. I saw none yesterday. And I was like, oh dang, man, like that sucks or whatever. Like we would have obviously loved to have you in the pictures and stuff because I mean, to complete the whole freaking ish, And he's like, you know what? Can y'all wait here like 10 or 15 minutes, right? It wasn't 10 or 15 minute wait. No. it was longer than that. But I was like, okay. I was like, you know what? Fine. So we're waiting for a while, and me and him just talking. And I don't know if we took some more pictures or not, whatever, but. We're sitting there talking, looking around all this stuff. And a while goes by and we're like, okay, this guy's we're about to leave again because we're like, I am hungry. It is almost 9 o'clock. I want this place was right. Legit. Papooses are waiting on me right now. Calling my name. And so we're again about to leave again. And then he finally shows up. I'm like, all right, well, let's do it. Whatever. Apparently he went back and changed back in his cosplay all over again. And we want to see what the costume looks like. We have the pictures on the Instagram, so it looks good. This dude, he has a full sleeve tattoo, real sleeve tattoo of the Dragon of the Darkness Flame, real one, like actually got it inked, right? So which is crazy. So super nice Hiei cosplay because of that, especially. So that was cool. So we got some pics with him, and then he leaves after that. He's like, "Oh, there, thanks you guys for waiting around and getting these pics. It's awesome, whatever." And exchange information, Instagram and stuff like that. And he's like go back, upstairs, whatever, to his room. I think he has a room in his hotel. So he goes off. I think he's meeting friends or something. So he goes off, and we're like, okay, cool. We park. So I pack up again. Then
not even 5 minutes later, this random lady from a second story, she goes, "Yo go! I look at her like, okay. And she's like, wait right there.
Yeah.
And she runs down the stairs, and she's so excited. She's like, she's ready to take some pictures, ready to take some pictures. And then we let her know. We're like, well, we were just here with Hiei, so we could get all of us in the picture if you want. And she was like, yes, go get him. Right. So then that's when Matt, you go run and grab him. He comes back and we took some good pictures with them too.
Pictures.
Yeah. That whole photo shoot was very good.
Yeah, it was fun. It was really fun. It was really fun, actually. Most fun I've had in a photo shoot for sure, especially cosplay photo shoot. And there was a guy. We got to figure out who this guy is. I need to ask about who that guy was. There was some guy that came with the girl that was in the Kurama cosplay, and he was like doing like these action clip things with us, and like directing us to how to do certain things. And I was like, okay. And he had like me like hit him, and then he hit me back, or vice versa rather. And then like the Karamas, he had them do like some like boy bandy sort of lover boy look thing. And I was like, okay. And it looked good. It looked good from what he showed us, but then I have no clue who he was. He took our inspiration, but I still haven't heard anything on the Instagram. But that was a cool experience, though. And it gave me an idea. I could try and do that. So I might try and do that, too. I thought it was kind of cool. And, but yeah, so it ended up being some of our best pictures. And probably, again, one of the highlights of the con was that part of the night, for sure. Mm-hmm. So like that, the yoga. But yeah, and taking the pictures, I took the greatest cosplay picture I've ever taken, and it's of Robert in this Kurama cosplay. It's like, I don't know where the inspiration came from, but I'm like taking his flowers, I'm like setting them up, and I'm like, okay, I want you to tilt your head and do this thing, and I'm like, okay, and then I'm like taking the picture, I'm like moving around, I'm like taking the picture, and I'm like, and then I just take one, I'm like, and I start laughing. And I show Robert, he's just like, what is this? Why is this?
Like, I'm transferred to another world. Like, the angle he got, it doesn't even look like I'm in the convention center anymore. I don't know how he did it, dude. The lighting was perfect. It's crazy. I mean, you've seen it, right, Alonso, on the that reel? Yeah. I'm like, oh my God.
It is my 1000% my favorite cosplay picture I've ever taken, for sure. And then he took a really good one with me too, I think, too. It looks like I'm in a freaking Yu Yu Hakusho movie, which is crazy. Like, so it's, again, I think my favorite shoot, for sure. Most fun I've had doing a shoot. I think I'm probably going to repost the pictures at some point and just like kind of talk about, all of this with it. Because I think it's just fun, and I just love the pictures so much. I want to repost them individually, just to get their own shine, at some point. But I'll do that later. But anyway. It was fun. And apparently there was a Kuwabahara there with a full light up spirit sword. Apparently. But we didn't see him ever. At any point. The con was that big that we didn't see that. Apparently both of the other people saw him at some point. The Kurama and Ryan, who was the Hiei, both said they saw him at some point during the con. That we did not catch a glimpse of this guy ever. So I don't know where they saw him, but we didn't. No, and earlier that day, we were eating our food, actually. Some other girl kept like looking at us, and she kept looking at us and then looking back, looking at us and then looking back, looking at us, looking back. I'm like, Robert, what is happening right now? And then she's like, I guess she notices me being like, this is weird. And then she's like, oh, I'm not trying to be weird, but there's someone that just walked in, and they're in like a botan and then a Kuwabahara cosplay, and I'm like, what the freak? You should have called them up here. And I'm like, oh, well, like show up, and they're like gone by then. And I'm like, oh, for goodness sakes. So that was cool. And yeah, I was like, that's crazy. So it was a good amount of Yu Hakusho. Not a crazy amount. A couple of Yusuke's, but definitely no with the Yoko Kurama. So this man was the sole Yoko representing. And yeah, it was good. That was cool. It was fun. Like that part of it was fun. So, and then Sunday, I think we just really just did like interviews and stuff basically all Sunday. But yeah, the interviews were fun also though. Like again, I think maybe some of our best interviews. Like just the energy was like good, and I think people were just excited. And we grabbed some random people at one point to come and do it too. And yeah, it was fun. It was fun. So that part of it, those three things were probably the best things. The interviews, I think, and testing out the app, and then that photo shoot, and then the yoga. Probably the three redeeming qualities. Now, again, are those three things worth $100? Probably not. But you know, at least we got something good out of it. And then Saturday night kind of. Oh yeah. Saturday night. Talk about Saturday. You talk about Saturday night.
Yeah. So again, we were invited to this 90 theme party, right? So they were like, okay, after we go get our El Salvadorian food, we're like, let's find where this party is. So Matt is on the Facebook where that's Facebook group where they have all the information, and he's like, all right, it says it's in the Marriott, right, in this particular place. And then we get there and we're like, this whole thing is the Marriott. Like the whole convention center, that's where it is. So we're just sitting there like, where specifically is this party, right? So then, you know, they're posting on the group chat, looking up all the information. Nobody's really saying anything. But then we asked somebody and they're like, yeah, well, it's probably here, right? So then they're like, it's probably downstairs. It's probably close to where the rave is for the night, right? So then we go down there to where the rave is, and they're, again, have the side room that's like, the rave is full. You need to get in this line for the side room, and you can't take your bags in there. No bags at all, of any kind. There was one guy cosplaying as a bag, but, he was a trash can. I'm like, can he bring a bag in? He's literally a bag. But anyways,
that's the caveat.
So we went down there. We're asking people walking by. We're like, yo, y'all know what this 90 theme thing is? It ain't this rave, all right? Because you definitely not dressed as 90 theme. You know,
I went in there and she was like holding some guy's like, you know, he had a collar on. The guy had a collar, and she was like dragging him with like a chain. It's like that don't look 90s to me. Like, not 1990s at least. I don't know, like
right.
1890s.
And then we saw the opposite too, right? We saw a girl being called leashed in by some dude.
Right. Crazy.
And anyways, I was like, you know what? That's equality right there. But yeah, and then we saw some drunk girl getting carried out, and she was gone. Right? And then anyway, so we sat down, we were looking for the space, we couldn't find it. So we just went up back to where we took the pictures, and we're like, all right, well, this is an area, you know, we'll see. Oh, and those girls, they from the big earlier when we got the food, we met up with them. They said they were going to go to the 90 theme thing, so they're the ones who invited.
They told us about it. They're the ones who told us about it.
Right. So then we're like, all right, let's meet up with them. And she messaged us. She was like, I got 5 bottles of soju or whatever. I got 5 bottles of soju. If we go find it, we gonna still go drink. That's what she said. We were like, all right. So we meet up with them, and then we asked them too. We're like, you know where it is? And they were like, nah. And they were like, okay, well, we just go chill here. And they were like, yep, we just go chill here. So that's what they did. We had some drinks. And they were playing some music up there. There's one dude who had a literal speaker cannon, like like a boombox shaped like a gun. It was crazy. And yeah, so he was playing music and stuff, and we were watching people with the cosplay and stuff. And yeah, but then eventually we were just like, all right, we're not staying here. Ain't no reason to stay here.
Yeah.
Right? We're, just some random, like, it's not an event, it's just people chilling. We're like, not feeling it. And we also kind of felt like a third wheel a little bit because there were also other people there. So in this group, so we're like, all right, well, we gonna go. And yeah, so we left after that, and I think that was basically the end of that was the end of Saturday, right? Because I was still dressed as Yoko.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I mean, Saturday kind of petered out, but I mean, again, Sunday the interviews kind of made Sunday worth it, and we didn't do the closing ceremony or anything, but
yeah,
I mean, I don't think we missed much from what people were saying, and I guess
the takeaway is that since I wasn't there, you guys had the time of your life. You had the best interviews, the best pictures. You were talking with people, partying it up. I mean, come on. Obviously, I'm the problem.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's what you're getting from this? That's surprising.
The takeaway is
right?
I shouldn't have gone to Otakon. That's the real takeaway. I should have just saved my money. $100 could go a long way.
Right there with you.
A lot of other things.
That was the other problem. Kelsey and Jude and Darius, really. Darius was not with us at all.
Ever.
Bro left Saturday. He left at what?
8 o'clock. They always like 8 o'clock. They didn't even eat dinner with us.
It was gone super early.
Dang! Like, we were literally about to go eat dinner. Well, we didn't know we were gonna have that whole picture thing. We were literally about to go eat dinner. We were like, yeah. So no to food? Like, nah. F y'all. We're gonna go home. Great. Awesome. Thanks.
So it would have been nothing but better if you were there, Alonzo. But yeah. Anyways,
got caught up in a situation where we had a 3-on-1 and well, I guess turned to a 3-on-2. Needed a third person, man. The 3-on-2 is disadvantageous, man. So you at the very least, and maybe that would have changed Saturday night plans.
This is true.
It didn't have the third person there to make that 3-on-3 happen. So
tragic. Tough titties.
Next time then.
Exactly. I ain't getting no titties that night.
Got nothing but allegations.
Nothing but allegations and yoga, man. Couldn't even get a we had like in fact, there was a girl that was doing the yoga thing, and she was like in front of us for a little bit, who was cosplayed as Naruto. And again, you cosplay what you want to do, right? But then during the yoga, they're like, okay, time to do downward dog, and then she's like, I need to move. I don't have the proper clothes to do this. Like, not that I wanted her to flash me or anything, or that I didn't want her to flash. I'm neither here nor there. I'm not in middle school, but but I was like, that's crazy. Like, because that's weird. I mean, that's where like I kind of were hoping we're like, okay, we're gonna go to this thing and get, interact with some other people. Obviously, ideally, as everyone, like someone of the opposite sex. But like, again, in general, other people, which we did talk to other people and stuff a little bit. And at one point, they were like, had us doing some like cat curl thing, and then they were like, "Oh yeah, do some hip
rotations,
hip rotations, do some hip rotations with it." And I was like, is that still yoga? Is that still? Right. And I just look back at the people behind him like, y'all want me to do some hip rotations for y'all? So they obviously just laughed, and it was funny. So, but yeah, and when we did do a thing where we had to do like 4 people, and they came and like did the 4-person one with us. That was cool. Yeah. So yeah, it was cool. Like, it was cool. Like that part of it was cool, but didn't help beating the allegations, but it helped with fun. So, but yeah, so would I go to Otakon again? Probably not. Like, again, even like the pictures thing, like the pictures were cool, and like on both ends of the spectrum. Some people were like super, super appreciative, and then other people were like kind of just like being weird and like super obsessive about their social media thing about it. And I'm like, the last thing I want to do is get caught up in social media politics. So if that's what it's going to turn into, going to a bigger con, I don't want to do that. Like, anime wasn't supposed to be. That's the one thing. I don't hate anime being mainstream at all because it helps people not get bullied, not get all the crap we had to deal with like an anime, which is great. But now it becomes like this thing where it's just like a revenue stream, and that's all it is for some people, and like a way to just take it and just use it for their own gains. Whereas I feel like anime used to be a thing where it's like anime is so people that felt excluded can have a place to feel basically comfortable, and that's all it was. And then coming together and having this camaraderie and like feeling comfortable and like just having a place where it's like, okay, I'm fully accepted. I can fully be myself. I can fully enjoy and just chill and relax and like have this conversation, all this stuff. And now with all these people like making it more mainstream, it's now becoming this thing of just like so many other things. Like, oh, now it's just, okay, what's going to help my ratio, my followers? What's going to help me get the most streamable content? What's going to help me get the most viral moment at this convention? And I'm not actually doing this because I like it or I like this character or I like this cosplay. It's just what's going to make me stand out enough to get followers and views or whatever else. And I'm like, I mean, everyone wants attention. Everyone likes to get, that sort of positive feedback. Like, oh, it's a super cool cosplay. Oh, that what you're doing is cool. That's a nice picture. All that sort of stuff. But like, again, it just sucks that it kind of taken anime from that thing where it's like we're all outcasts and we're coming together as outcasts to just show love and have an appreciation for it. To now it's becoming a thing where it's like it's back to just another thing where, okay, you don't have a cool enough cosplay on, so you suck. or you don't have enough followers, so your opinion on my cosplay doesn't matter, or your pictures don't matter, or your thing doesn't matter. Like, or I'm not going to talk to you because you don't do these, you don't have 50K followers for your cosplay page. I'm like, I don't know. So that was what I didn't like the most about Otakon. Was like I had that vibe more than any other con, where it just felt more just like it wasn't about the anime. So didn't like that.
Yeah, I mean, I told you every time we've gone to a con, like my best moments is when we have where like after the interview when they want to keep interacting with us or when we just have a sit down like we did when in BlurCon or at the host club, even like that kind of thing. Those are my favorite moments just because, I mean, you get to do the thing, the actual convention thing, right? Yeah.
Right. The reason you go to a convention, which is supposed to be to meet and congregate with like-minded people that share an interest.
Right.
Like, and that, you know what? And I'll say that's a good point that you brought that up, because I will say with some of my pictures, the people after I took the pictures with them and we kind of talked a little bit, like literally one person we interviewed and one person I took a picture of were both like, they're actively trying to work on like their social anxiety. And like our experience helped them work through their social anxiety because it was so positive that they're like, okay, this isn't such a scary thing. So that is, I will say, okay, that is a good thing. So I shouldn't let the negatives overshadow the positives. That was a very, very, very strong positive too. So that was cool. That was cool.
Well,
but yeah.
Glad I didn't go. That's all I gotta say. I'm just sitting here listening intently, and I feel validated.
I mean, you should. You should feel validated.
Do you feel like we were a little extra?
Maybe just a tiny bit extra. Now that the con's over, extra time is on our side. Let's get started. We'll start off with news that the NFL is back. The boys are back in town and violently trying to injure each other to win games and get paid. Preseason has kicked off with training camps having wrapped up. And although preseason is nothing more than glorified practice, there are stakes with the explosion of gambling. We've talked at length about gambling. And other people trying to stay on the fringes of an NFL team, trying to make a living in the league. So the best of the best will probably won't even play at all in the preseason. But there's going to be others trying to make a name for themselves, trying to stick around. So it's always good to see who comes out, becomes like the diamond in the rough, rises to the top. So we'll see how that goes. But the regular season's coming up fast, and it's going to be the return of what I think is the United States' most popular sport, football. American football. America. Fuck yeah. Anyway, moving on to some news I don't think anybody was expecting or anybody was like really even wanted, but we have a NASCAR and Major League Baseball crossover event. And while we won't have people in cars driving on a baseball diamond to play a game of baseball, as disappointing as that may sound, we will have an actual Major League game take place on the NASCAR Oval, specifically at Bristol Motor Speedway in Bristol, Tennessee, which is affectionately nicknamed the Last Great Coliseum. That's going to take place next August with the Braves taking on the Cincinnati Reds. The place is known for loud noise, heavy fumes, and short tempers, but it'll be the first time that a Major League game is played in Tennessee, and they're trying to break the single game attendance record for a Major League Baseball game. That was set back in 2008 at the LA Memorial Coliseum. But the Speedway holds a capacity of close to 150,000, and an average MLB ballpark seats close to 40,000. So there's going to be potential for the record to be broken. A lot of people are going to be there for the novelty just to see baseball and NASCAR Speedway, see how that even works. The renderings look kind of neat. We'll see how it goes. And who knows, maybe one day we'll have a NASCAR event at a Major League Baseball stadium. That'll be fun. A lot of beating and banging. Speaking of beating and banging,
tight circle.
The last weekend's race, yesterday's race at Richmond, that was a doozy. It was awful at the end. But anyway, let's move on. I want to talk about the 2024 Paris Olympics. The last 2 weeks, the Olympics were going on. People from all around the world came together in Paris to show off their talents and make it known who was the best at their individual sport. But before I get too deep into it, I wanted to shout out the inaugural Procrastination There Goes My Hero award to Flavor Flav. Yes. The extravagant rapper of Public Enemy fame, Mr. Flav is in this spot because of his generosity he's displayed for U.S. Olympic athletes and his enthusiasm he exuded at the games. It was a big surprise when the news came out that Flavor Flav was to sponsor an official hype man for the U.S. women's water polo squad, which was chasing a historic 4th straight gold medal in Paris. Unfortunately, the women failed to medal. They fell to Netherlands in the bronze medal match. But Flav was all about the games and making sure that athletes were taken care of by using money out of his own pockets. So he gifted each member of the water polo squad $1,000 and paid for his cruise for them. And, you know, it's not easy being an Olympic athlete for a lesser-known sport, especially when things at home are tough. You know, some athletes have to juggle more than one job and the training it takes to stay at an Olympic level. You know, not a political podcast, but not being able to fully pursue it due to cost of living and trying to keep food on the table. I don't think that's really right for Olympic athletes, but that's the country we live in. That's how life is. I don't even think women's water polo even pays well, even if I think it's a rich person's game.
Right.
But, you know, Flavor Flav stepped up. He was the yeah boy man. So he really earned like his generosity to this time. So he even helped out a struggling athlete who was struggling to pay rent. He came out on Instagram with like, "Hey, let me help you out." So he and another gymnast, she had bronze taken away, and Flav was like, "Yeah, let me just give you a bronze clock chain." He going crazy. Anyway, all this to say, Flavor Flav, you the man. Moving on, still at the Olympics. The Olympics are over, but the U.S. made out with the most medals overall at 126 and tied with China for the most gold medals at 40. Host nation France didn't do too bad, finishing 64 medals overall. In men's soccer, Spain topped France to continue Spain's dominant play over the summer, where they also won the Euros. And in women's soccer, the U.S. women beat Brazil to get back to the top of the podium. In basketball, it was all USA versus France, both the men's and women's game. In the men's game, France got it to within one possession late, but 4 straight golden dagger 3-pointers from future Hall of Famer Stephen Curry iced the game. It was a thing of beauty. You just had to be there to watch it live. I mean, if you missed it live, I don't know what you want to do with yourself, because that was an out-of-body experience from him. It was truly masterful basketball played in the men's game. In the women's game, well, it was certainly a basketball game of all time. I'll say that.
25.
The U.S. women won by 1 point after the French team had its game timing attempt be a made 2-pointer because the player's foot was over the line. Yep. Gosh, it was not the prettiest basketball played, but you play to win the game. And that's what the U.S. women did, so congrats to them. The fastest man on the planet in terms of the 100-meter dash is American Noah Lyles, winning in a true photo finish. And the fastest woman is in the 100-meter dash was Julian Alfred of St. Lucia over American Sha'Carri Richardson. So, tough break for Richardson. She's been hyped up to be the fastest woman alive, and she got beat, but she'll probably come back stronger next time in LA. Who knows? Team USA was dominant in gymnastics as well, with Simone Biles leading the way with 3 gold medals and 1 silver medal. But now the Summer Olympic flame begins its journey to Los Angeles for the 2028 Games, which I believe will be a clusterfuck and a headache for Southern California. But I digress. Neither here nor there. There was also a meme about people trying Olympic activities not being chosen for the Games. But I wanted to ask you all about what is anything you think you could potentially train yourself to be good enough for the Olympics. Keep in mind that breakdancing was a sport for this year, and some lady from Australia who went by the name Raygun qualified and got a straight zero of a score. Lord, I've also talked about before how there's going to be an esports Olympic someday. So, so what do you all think you could do? For me, I believe if I train vigorously to lose weight and focus on my leg strength, I could probably become a red zone threat for the addition of flag football in the 2028 Games. I probably would never make the U.S. squad because they got the NFL players, so fuck me, I guess. But I was told when I was little I have some Baileys in me on my mother's side. So Baileys, hit a brother up, man. Call me back. Ready to go to the Olympics. Get that gold for you. But anyway, what do y'all think you can do and would want to do at the Olympics?
Remember, we were in the El Salvadorian place, and we were watching handball, and I was like, "This is easier basketball. This goal is huge. I can do this. I know I can do this one. Give me a ball, put me in, coach. I got it."
What? That's crazy because that's the exact same one I was thinking about. I am not even joking. That's the first thing that came to my mind. I was like, Jigga, handball, soccer with just my hands?
Right.
Juke the freak out of somebody. What? I go cook those dudes. That's basically lacrosse without the sticks, which is way easier. I got that issue. Against unathletic, random European dudes? Come on, man. I'm sorry, dude. I'm cooking those guys, man. I'm
trying to block this small ball. Behind
the back. Steph Curry with Euro stepper on that dude. Come on, man. I'm telling you, I'm good. I could be handball champion of the world. Now, one I would never want to do is freaking rugby. Rugby, you couldn't pay me enough, man. That girl from New Zealand, woman from New Zealand who just carried somebody it was just crushing people. Like I couldn't even play women's rugby. I couldn't even play women's rugby. No way, dude. I am not doing that. I like my teeth. I like my teeth. I like my ribs. I like breathing. I like doing those things. So no, I couldn't ever do rugby, but handball, put me in. I got you. And I think, let me see, what was one? I want to say I maybe could do something like. No, I'm not gonna lie. I couldn't do that ish. I thought about like like I maybe could do breakdancing, but if I
I
train
can do it
enough,
at least as good as the bunny girl. Yeah,
at least as good as her. I know what I can beat her. I can beat her.
Yeah. I'll get a 1.
That.
Give me a 1.
With training, I for sure am getting at least a couple. Maybe like a 5.3. Give me a 5.3. But the rest of them, man, I don't know. Then those are elite athletes, man. I seen somebody throw a javelin like almost 100 yards. Like what the freak? That jigga would have been an elite warrior back in the day. They would have been chief of the tribe and ish. What the freak? That's crazy. So yeah, I mean that seems some crazy next level stuff. The table tennis, the eye hand coordination on those tables, they were going crazy. Oh my gosh, dude, that jump was crazy. The eye hand coordination for those table tennis folks, no joke, man.
This is some lady deadlift like 680 pounds or something like that. It's like, what is happening?
Yeah, I'd be dead trying to lift that. I'd be dead trying to lift it, 100%.
I'm out. Not an athlete. I was thinking about this though. I was like, maybe I will break. I could, if I could ruin my muscles. You know what I mean? Like, can't you like, get that saving your child, under a car thing, I can do that one time. I can choose any one. Like, I can do pole vaulting one time. and then that's it.
I'm
then
pole
the muscles
and
are
then
done.
just lean back and I'm bust my head.
Yeah.
Bust my head. Like, oh my god, that is just scary. They tried to get me in that when I ran track. I went, no way. I was like, there's no way I'm getting on that pole. I ain't made for no poles. That ain't me.
Oh, Lord.
Beating the allegations today. Exactly what I was going to say. But anyway, one thing we're not going to ever be accused of is not having any fun in this podcast. It was great. It was fun again. Unlike Otakon, I'm playing it was all right. But yeah, hopefully we'll go to another con near you soon. But yeah, it's been a blast. Hopefully you guys like this episode. If not, let us know how we can improve. We'll try and improve, get this ish together. But yeah, we talking about some regular ish next time. We'll see you then. Peace.